one of the divisions that I've been following these past few years that really I think is going to benefit this division a lot down the road is the 602 crate sprint cars up at Can-Am. Tucker Donath has been running up there, picked up a couple wins in 2022. He just picked up his second win of this season just this past Friday, and as a matter of fact, he brought the car out to Land of Legends on Saturday to run with the 305 sprints and actually did pretty well before he tasted the concrete a little bit and did a little damage to the car. So let's find out what's going on with third-generation driver Tucker Donath. His dad is Dave Donath. His dad is Shane, so his uncles then are Sean and Brian, who are all pretty well established in the business as well. Tucker is in Palermo. How are we doing tonight?
Doing good. How are you doing, Doug?
Good, good. So that feel good after a winless 23. We already got 2, and we're barely into June.
Yeah, it felt really good. We had a good season last year, but just weren't able to close the deal on a win. And then this year we won the season opener and struggled the last couple of weeks, but we were able to finally get the car back going this past Friday night and get it back in victory lane.
Why? What was it doing better Friday that it wasn't doing in the weeks leading up to it?
Just struggling to find the handling, especially in the corners. It's so big up there to be able to keep it on the ground and keep our momentum rolling, and we were just struggling to find that speed, but I think we might have found what we were lacking.
What area did you, and I don't want you to tell me too much to give something away, but what was wrong? What area did you address to fix that?
I would say it was more just tying the car down on the left side, getting it one over, and so that my momentum was able to keep going, and I was going to have downforce on the rear tires, so I wasn't spinning the tires as much, and able to steer it through the corners.
Very nice. So, did you lead the whole thing? Do we have to pass a couple folks to get there? What happened?
Started in the front row and sort of right next to Josh Byrne Jr. And we pretty much raced for the lead the whole time. Unknowing to me, I had no idea that he was there, but everybody told me it was a good race, and yeah, I was able to hold on for the whole race, and it was just went pretty smooth.
Josh wins his Farrah races. Won a bunch of them last year. We've talked to him a couple times. I got to get a hold of him here again to see how things are going. How is the class doing at Can-Am?
It's definitely growing, just slowly. It's tough to trying to get people to switch over, and I think one of the Brockville's doing well with cars, and Can-Am's doing well with cars, just not merging the two together.
Yeah.
So you need people to go back and forth, but unfortunately with the border being in the way, it causes difficulties. But I think you're definitely going to see the class grow, especially in the next year. A lot of people are interested in it, and if they know they can race at more places, like if they know they can go race with the 305s, I think you'll see them get into the division.
And how is it different outside of the obvious, the engine under the hood? Is there anything else that's different with a CRSA 305?
So if you want to take your crate sprint car and go race with the CRSA 305s or weekly at Land of Legends, you just have to take the wing slider off and put on a fixed slider, so you can't adjust it from the car. And then you have the option to run a softer tire than you would at Can-Am or Brockville.
Okay. And this is something I was talking to a little while ago. And those of you in the modified world, like in central New York, they run a 300, which is a softer tire. Up north, they run a Hoosier 400 because the tracks tend to be a little bit more abrasive. So let me see. So they had a harder, it's a D25. It's an HTC, which is a Hoosier Tire Canada, which is the same tire ESS and CRSA run. So what did you have on then? I mean, did you have to run that at Land of Legends when you went there?
When we went to Land of Legends, we probably could have ran the D25, but you're better off going with the HTC if you have one available, because it's just going to stick to the track better and wear a little bit better, but you can definitely go with a D25 and run that if you want to.
Okay. Competitive, were you because I'm trying to think which would be better. I mean, were you right there lap time with the 305s?
We weren't far off for being starting mid-pack, and I mean, never really got clean air, so it was tough to tell, but we were able to pass cars, and I thought had pretty good speed, and I would have liked to see the whole race play out before making contact with the wall and not being able to finish, but I feel like you could definitely bring a crate there on a weekly basis and be competitive.
Top 5, top 10?
I don't see why not. The track conditions are right. If it's a slick track, I think definitely.
Okay, all right.
Because throttle control is huge, and I think once you get one of these crates rolling, they're very similar to a 305 as far as speed.
Of course, the track had a little grip in the heat races still, though.
Yeah, it did have a little bit, and I don't think it really affected us that
No?
bad either. I mean, I haven't raced Atlanta Legends. It's been 2 years, and we started 8th, and I was able to get up to 5th, and it took me a couple laps to get rolling again. You know, track was slightly different than the last time I was there, but I thought it was definitely competitive.
Yeah, and of course, your cousin ran there for a while, too, back in the day as well. So might we come back to Canandaigua at some point?
That's the plan. I definitely want to get back there, you know, as soon as we're able to. I had a ton of fun there, and I thought it was a lot of fun racing with those guys, and I think we could bring the crate back and run competitive.
Going to share that with some of your Can-Am buddies, and because obviously it'd be nice to get a second night for all you guys who are trying to get experience, right?
Yeah, I think it's great for any one of those guys that wants to race. You know, obviously they could choose to go to Brockville and run with other crates, but if they don't want to cross the border, you could go to Atlanta Legends and get a second night of racing in the States and be fairly competitive.
So what's the future look like for you? Is it possible you might race with your uncle someday?
Right now it's a little all over the place. You know, I'd like to add a 305 to our team and be able to run the 305s more consistently with CRSA and Atlanta Legends, and then keep the crate for Can-Am. But
I see.
I would say definitely in the future we could see 360s happening with Sean. But for right now, I would like, you know, taking it one step at a time. Hopefully next year or maybe by the end of this year have a 305, but keep supporting the crate division as well.
And it seems like sprints overall are doing pretty well. I know CRSA set 3 different records this year. I think it was 3 straight shows that they had record car count. I think they were 40 at some point. What is it that is making sprint car racing seem so appealing, do you think, right now?
I would say the cost more than anything. I mean, it's much cheaper to get into racing a sprint car than it is a modified. The labor is much less, and you can race. I mean, there's places to go race sprint cars, you know.
Yes.
ESS, obviously, they run a not part-time, but, you know, the traveling series, and they cut the races back a little bit this year, but you can still run 25 times with them, and then if you want to get into a 305, you can run every Saturday night, as well as the CRSA, and then the crate sprint cars every Friday night at Can-Am, Saturday at Brockville, and then you can mix in 305 races. I know more guys are going to be doing that, too.
Yeah, and I could see how these crate guys like you will eventually go 305. New guys will take your place. And as far as parts and availability, sprint car parts tend to be cheaper than the modifieds, don't they?
Yeah, I would definitely say so. And like you said, with the more people joining the division, the more stuff that's going to be out there for people looking to get into it, you know? People that are trying to buy a used car, you can go find a race-ready crate sprint car that you can run at Can-Am every Friday night for about $20,000 or maybe less.
Really? Gee.
Yeah, and you can get right in there and start racing.
And you can mix it up, and you got what you need to be out front.
Definitely.
Wow, okay. Yeah, so this is nice because really, I mean, when you look at step ladders, you know, because every division or every racetrack, you know, needs to have a step ladder. And I wondered how this crate sprint, because obviously you got crate sprint, 305, 360, and then 410. And, of course, there's even micro sprints at you know, the same level, real popular down in Pennsylvania. So what's up for this weekend? Just one race or two?
Looking like probably just Can-Am, but it's still a little early in the week. Might add Atlanta Legends on Saturday, but we'll see.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let me know. You know, shoot me a message or something. I'll look for you. And please say hi to Mom and Dad. I remember when they were about your age back in the day. So it's amazing how the math works out. Before I do let you go, I got about a minute. You got a couple thank yous you'd like to get out?
Yeah, definitely got to thank Panther Frameworks, Thomas Motor Works, Modern Mechanical Services, Fellas Trucking, Gulfville Farms, Adirondack Powder Coating. My Uncle Sean's a huge help with everything, and my parents and grandparents. You know, they all help me with everything I do with the racing.
Yeah, say hi to Dave and Grandma for me, too. So, guys, make sure to turn on your notifications, subscribe. We got a lot of stuff coming up this week. We didn't have as much here on Tuesday because we were doing lots of other things, but we're going to be, of course, at Canandaigua again this weekend, and we'll be doing some stuff from the studio. Hey, good luck with everything, and hopefully you and I will chat again soon.
Yes.